recording. Good morning for those of you on YouTube. Good morning for those who on Rumble and here on Twitch.tv/Joe Slick Live. Yeah, I gotta knock down that audio here on my end. It was loud, man. Yeah, good morning to you. Want to do this, let me see, calmness. When you hear this, just text me and then I'll give you a call. So sometime in this report, we'll give a real report here, right? Solar wind right now is 386. Proton density is about 10. We've had a couple of C2 flares. 40% chance for an M flare because of 36 and 43 still, which are on the cusp of the edge of the world, right? Or the sun. Yeah, let me go to here. Wait, where is it? What happened, man? Yeah, right here. So let's go ahead and check it out. So right here on the edge, 43, and this one here. This is where the M flares. This is a new one come out here, 49. They haven't said anything about it. So I assume that it's pretty stable and it's not opposite, right? Yeah, just 36 and 43, which was up there in that right-hand corner. Let's see. Everything's relatively quiet at the moment. So looking at LASCO, close-up shot on LASCO. There's a little bit of Buffett or something out there going on. There's a small one too. But these ones are all going around the sun, and this one down here in the south, I don't know about yet. I don't see anything down in the south at 4150. I don't know. It might be on the backside of the sun. So, in looking at the LASCO, and then looking at the far distance LASCO 3 setting, there isn't a whole lot emanating from the sun. There is a bit. It's almost an entire halo. So maybe not even a G1, but something. Let's see what NOAA has to say. NOAA, they just say it's nothing. Just some solar wind coming in. Yeah. Trying to stretch that damn thing. Yeah, pretty nominal stuff here. Solar wind's going to drop down predominantly. We'll get some probably on the 24th, and then it'll be over for 5 days for plasma. There is a bit of plasma streams, very, very, very small, and then here it is right there, just shooting off. It looks like it's in the southern portion, so if we went down over here and looked at what the BZ is at right now, it's a little bit in the south, but it's still nominal. 8, the highest was 8 and it's almost 7. So in the north, there's a lot more activity because of the solar flares that are in the north. It's way up to 14 at one time, and now it's back equatorial region. So it's anybody's guess if the earthquakes would take place, whether they'd be in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere. On this day in history, in 2004 we had an X1, in 2000 we had an M5 and an M4. Last year we had an M3, almost an M4 at this time last year, and then the year before was the M31. The last on this day in history in geomagnetic storms, in 2004 we had a G3, in 2009 we had a G2, and way back in 1992 we had a G2. That was the big year for El Nino. Back to 92. Yeah, I don't know, maybe too. I was thinking of 82. Time flies. Yeah. Last geomagnetic storm was on the 16th of this month, and the last M flare was 2 days ago. Oh no, it's 10 days ago. The last X was last month on the 19th, so a month ago. It's just quiet, everybody. It is what it is. That's good. Looking at the ground magnetics, not a whole lot to really speak of. That's the interaction with our core and our whatever's out there playing with our magnetometer, our magnetic planet. These are magnetic waves or what have you that interfere with our crust of our planet. And we live on the crust, right? So that's kind of what we do here. Yeah, you're a crusty. Right. Yeah, looking at solar wind right now on the magnetopause, you can see dynamic pressure stays relatively low. It's well below 1. Standoff distances, dude, there's just no stuff. All the way to 11. And maybe we hit 10. That was due to the proton densities coming up a little bit. Proton density up to 14. And solar winds at 387. So plasma is what's getting us now. I wouldn't consider it a geomagnetic storm. But yeah, I wouldn't think it would be. I'm looking on here. See if these couple of C2s, maybe something came at us, right? Within the last 6 hours here. I think this runs about the 6-hour mark. Some radiation across Africa and Europe. You can see how it turned bluer. And the attenuation is not very high. It's, less than 5. All the way across into the mid-Atlantic. And, it doesn't look like a whole lot of stuff happening from the sun. Now, outside the sun, that could be different. We could be being pummeled by other stuff. X-rays and the like, gamma rays. So, but our sun is being nice to us, but the proton density is up a bit. And I thought that was it here. Let me... This one here? Yeah. Hey, I wanted to show you this one. So, as we were looking, you can see the more blue, the more plasma or protons being shot at us. And if I put it in play mode, then basically it's a computer generated, thing watching how the Earth and its magnet reacts to what's been happening. You see up during dawn a lot more push. And up here we have a good little bubble on this backside up here. That's the equatorial plane. This is the noon to midnight meridial plane. And the sun being off to the left. And all this is generated by plasma and solar wind ions, right? So in looking at the darker reds, you'll see that's the pressure upon our planet. And when we go through those waves, you can see that upper right-hand side, like I said, it would be back here, and you can see, there it is, a little pressure that came upon us. I look at it like it's a magnet, right? The atmosphere, we're not, you're wearing a watch, it's not going to like all of a sudden be taken off into space, right? Because it's metal. So there's not like a strong pull, but this is like really minute, and this is how we watch the solar wind pass by our planet and our magnetic core and responding to it, protecting us and pushing back the negative stuff or positive, whatever, which one it's too much of. It's kind of like putting two magnets on a desk and you push them together. If they attract, then opposites, right? But if they're the same, they kind of push. And the red is the push. All right? So that's kind of how that happens. That's how I see it anyway. Very low Ulan neutron counts. Very low. Today's -7, very low. That's the space average. Max is in 2009 was 11 plus 1117, and then also very low was in 1991 was on record anyway was a -32. So we're only at -7. So very low outside radiation hitting us right now. That's kind of what the Ulan neutron, from the neutron stars. Yeah. KP is 2, so nothing. The coronal hole should be kicking us a little bit of wind by the 24th. and 35% chance for an M. X is at 5, dropping down today. Let's see, on the 49th, on the 22, there's still no rocks to speak about. Alrighty. Just finished eating some beautiful plums, she says. Hey, by the way, let me interrupt our call here. I'm going to call her. Yeah.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Calmness. How are you?
Wonderful, thank you.
Good. Hey, yesterday was a very interesting day, wasn't it?
It was August Day.
Yeah, it was a very interesting day. I heard on our part here when I was talking and doing the report in the morning, I had a word, and I said it doesn't fit anywhere in what I'm doing, so I knew that it wasn't from me, but this word, it came out of my mouth before it hit me in the head, so I didn't know what I was saying. Then I kind of was checking myself and going, okay, this is a word from the Lord. So I don't even remember the word. Was it? I forget the word. You, yeah, it was something something itis, right?
Yes.
And do you remember the word?
I thought you said conjunctionitis.
Yeah, conjunctionitis or conjunctivitis. Yeah, that was the word. It's like, how does that word hit you? You're doing something on a whole different plane, and all of a sudden this word comes out. And I learned to recognize that that's when the Lord's speaking, and I better listen. And so I put out there to our group after I said, you know what? This might be for somebody. Is anybody out there? And you could tell me what you heard from your part of view.
Well, I just walked in my bedroom, and I was running a little late. So I turned on the program, and then you're talking about this. And I thought, that's me. That's me. That's who he's talking about. Because I was getting up, and I had this gunk in my eyes, and I've had it for 3 days. And so he told me, grab it, sister. So I grabbed it, and I believed in it, and I put my hands on my face that the Lord would cover me. And then I ran to the bathroom, and I looked at my eyes, and there was no gunk.
Yeah.
And I was just so excited. So I ran back to my bedroom, and I looked at the writings that was on there, and I looked at it by name, and my name was light gray or an off-white. Usually calmness is always in red.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked down, and the color had completely changed. And I had mentioned about my name changing colors. So I even joked about it. I said, I guess I'm going to see what it's like to be blonde. But anyway, when I looked at it, then to me, that was a confirmation that the Lord had healed my eyes. And I thought, well, nobody can see, because I said, Mike said, no, your name is in red. And so to confirm that, I took a picture of the message, and then I sent it to Joe so he could see what happened to my name. And so I was so excited and stuff. I was just praising God. And Joe phoned me up later, and we were talking about the message that I had sent him. And he told me, what he had said about, grab a hold of it. And I said, I was like a football player. I grabbed that word, and I took off running. I looked like a little miniature football player, but it was my word. So Joe and I talked about it, and we were both excited. In fact, what I did as soon as I finished talking to everybody, I went to the living room, and I laid on the floor in prostrate, just praise God for the healing of my eyes.
Yeah. So
I went to
go ahead.
I went to the restroom and I touched my eyelids and they were no longer painful.
Wow.
Go ahead, Joe. Tell
Yeah. So this second part of that vision, or what? Hey, it is a vision, isn't it? Because you have new vision. God's going to give you new vision. It's kind of like what the reason for this whole incident. God wanted to tell Calmness that she's going to get new vision. So what he's going to do, he's going to peel away the old vision and give her a new vision. And that's going to be interesting. I just praise the Lord for that. You know, most people say God is, just God. He's kind of up there and we don't know how to respond. But the minute you understand that God really loves you, kind of like a father should. That's why I call him Papa. I don't call him God so much. God's kind of like a title. Papa's kind of like, that's my dad, I care about my dad. And it doesn't make me special that the Lord spoke to me. Who made it special was relationship between Calmness and God. And God used me to tell her how much he loves her and he healed her. I mean, instantly, everybody. This is and the proof I have on the screen there is she was able to see it change colors. Nobody else was. So God was saying, look, I'm going to take the redness out of your eyes. I'm going to heal you. And then he says he's going to give her new vision. So I think that's a prophetic word, but we'll see. But she can hold on to that too. The stuff will be out of her eyes. So it's a wonderful testimony here, Calmness, in the proof that God really, really loves you. And I give him praise because, that's happened on several occasions for me. But it doesn't make me special. I'm just a dude. I'm just Joe, man. Nobody's special. God's the one that's special. And the relationship that he has with 55 or Calmness, grace, he's pouring grace upon her. And this is a great testimony, everybody. We've had other people we prayed for. They got instantly healed, delivered from death several times under the COVID thing. And so we don't know when this is going to happen. But be aware when it does, we're going to bring it on and we're going to give God all the praise and the glory and know that God does love people. And he's not just far away from us, he's close. And, you got anything else you want to say, sister?
Yes. After, with my eyes, well, I have a sciatica and my groin area had been acting up, so I haven't been able to do as much stuff as I'd like to do. But after that healing, I felt like I needed to go out in the backyard and do some work. So I went and cut down this big branch off of one of my trees, and I brought the trash can over, and I thought, how am I going to get this huge branch into this trash can? So I just sat there with clippers and took apart little by little. I got it done so much quicker than what I thought, and everything fit perfect in that trash can. I thought I would have to do at least 3 loads. Praise God, it was like, hey, this works pretty good. I wonder if I do that to my body, if that'll do it like that too. Get a little thinner here. But right. The miracles of God, you just have to be so alert.
So your back right now is feeling better too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, wow. I did have no pain yesterday. Actually, I picked up all the branches and I put it in the trash can, and then I was walking, trying to see if my pelvic area felt out of place or nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so, but I did take breaks. I wasn't going to push anything. Right. So the break that I took, I got out there and I got the trash can and I rolled it out to the front yard. And I thought, okay, if anything's going to affect my sciatica would be this, pulling this huge trash can, and nothing. So I came in and celebrated with a hot bath and climbed into bed, and that was it. I hadn't.
And you're all better now. See how much God loves you? Yeah, I wanted to share that with people, and I'm glad you did that too, Calmness. Thank you so much for telling people, the testimony that God did for you yesterday and will continue to do.
I was so high and full of praise and honor. I've said this before whenever I write, and I truly mean it. I'm not exaggerating or anything. I love this family here.
Yeah, I do too.
I love my sisters and the men as well.
The brothers.
But sisters are just such a gathering of spirits.
I agree. I love Susan and all the girls. Yeah, all the girls. Denise in the UK.
And I always say they are such strong women. They bring so much into this program. And I hope none of anybody thinks, well, I don't have much to offer. You have so much to offer. And as long as we have each other in our minds and our prayers, we have each other. We back each other. So thank you, everybody. I have always made prayer requests because I've seen miracles in my family with the group here, and I ask for a prayer. It is amazing what the Lord does.
Yep.
So anyway, thank you, Joe.
My pleasure, sister. No, I love you. You know that. You know that. All right, you take care. Then we'll get back to the show here.
Okay.
Just wanted everybody to hear it from your own voice and the evidence sitting there on screen that your name did change. Uncle Milty said it's red to me, but to you it was definitely changed. So that's kind of like God did something that nobody else can do twice for you. Yeah. All right. Take care, sister.
Okay. Thank you. Love you. God bless.
Love
Bye-bye.
you too. Bye. Yeah. So if those things happen for us, we'll do those things. But prayer works. Prayer is an opportunity for you to agree with God on any subject. And if you hear somebody needs prayer, go out and pray for them, and just agree with God, because that's what it is. God does everything. See, He gave us the world, right? So because we have the world, it belongs to us. He's not going to usurp our authority here. But if we agree and we offer Him or ask Him to come in, then it's a free gift to Him to come into and affect our lives. And that's what prayer is about. Yeah, it's a communion. Hey, Susan, 70 times 7. North Pacific Ocean just came up with a 4.7. Thank you. There is the other Susan, way back in Downland Under. She might be sleeping by now. But, yeah. Lombok over there, Indonesia, came in with a 4.0. All righty. So I wanted to share that with you, everybody. I hope that didn't offend you. Because if it did, I don't care. Really. But I just want to show you that it's not fake, right? Calmness lives, oh my gosh, 400, 500, 600 miles away from me. So, but let's go. What is going on? Well, I guess their boys are talking. Yeah. Yep, they're just talking. Okay, so, looking at the tremors. Here we go. Massive amount of tremors yesterday, still up in that Salem area. And also coming down the contours of the JDF, right? If this continues, it could be up here. Now, the belief that a complete rip along the Cascades, I don't know. I don't really know if it could happen 900 miles long. That color for the Lord, He got my attention. No kidding. 55 is her red is her, but it's wild. But yep. And now it's my time. He gave it to you. Yep. He double healed her. 55. Grace. So much grace. Pouring out grace. Yeah. But anyway, so a lot of vibration still happening yesterday up in the Salem area. And that might be an indicator of the axle seamount getting ready to pop. Okay, everybody, just be aware of that. I'm not saying it is, but some people like to make more of it than there is. And the buoys, is we got a drunk Chinaman out there at all? That turn non-reporting ones. Yeah, we do. We have a drunk one. Woohoo! Let's see. Kamchatka. View the details. Right there. All right, it happened a little after 2 green time. Hour. Oh, that's the date. All right, where's the hour? And the tide moving in. What is it? 2. Probably like 2:02. Somewhere in here. So it's not a whole lot of difference. So why that buoy's bouncing? It might have picked up some tremors along the shore rather than the wave height. So let's go ahead and look. We are getting a ton of quakes up in that area. So go here, go the newest first. Okay. The last chance was at 6 o'clock was a 5.1. At half hour before was a 5. Half hour before was a 4.9. Well, they're doing every half hours. Wow, man, check that out. A half hour before that was a 4.9. So 5's been popping for half an hour marks. 14. Okay, a minute before that one was a 5. So that one. And then this one, an hour before. So it's picked up dramatically. I mean, really dramatically. There was a chance in there for a huge quake. We had 4 series of quakes every half hour on the half hour. Looking at 325 was a 5, 4.9. Here's a 5 at 118. So this thing goes off 15 minutes later? Is that what it is? 15 minutes later. So that quake, I don't know, is the depth, how's the depth of it? Let's go ahead and check it out. 10 kilometers depth. So it's a shallow quake. And so the shallow quake made that buoy kind of right? So interesting. Or it's a Chinaman, dinger. Could be the Ruskies too. They're out here in this spot out here too. So not seeing any others. Definitely the Ruskies over here. So yeah, well, alrighty then. So there you have it. There you have it. Okay, going to volcano news today. In the news, volcanically speaking, from Volcano Discovery, July 22, 2025, San Guido, Popo, Simiru, Ibu, Tokono, Reventador, Sangay, and Kirishima. Those are all that have made the news, right? Looks like Sangay is possible emissions there in Ecuador. Tokono and Ibu, 8,000 feet. It's like a 3,600 foot mountain going to 8,000 there in the Malacca Sea, just south of the Philippines. You can see a trail here of smoke, ash. Little Tolo, Liwo right? Which is Little Toby's over here, Little Tolo's over there. 6,000 feet again. And it's a 55 or 4,600 foot mountain. All right. Reventador, another 11,000 going to 15, so about 3,500 foot pop. Kirishima, ash activity continues, 5,000 feet. Now, it is a 5,500 foot mountain, Kirishima, but the ash is kind of like floating around it. Yeah, and so it's still erupting. We have Kirishima right here. We have Sakurajima right here. And then another 500 miles, we have Suonozajima. 3 volcanoes leading into Japan along the trench and are created by that trench are breaking up right now. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Oh, man. Freaking ads. Shimiru, they're in Java, southern part of Java. 15 out of a 12.3. Santa Guido, another 12.3, but this time it's over here in Guatemala. 14, so it's 1,500 foot, maybe 1,000 foot. Tolica down there in Nicaragua. Tolica volcano, still erupting. It's not seen on satellite though, but it's got activity down there. Popo, the same, sporadic emissions and just, squirting in the air. Ibu, 7,000 of a 46. So Ibu Dukono, bump, Malacasi, Sulawesi, PNG's down to the bottom right, and Indonesia and all the other stuff is way south, west. Kirishima right here again, 5,000 feet. So it's erupting, but it's not like exploding, right? Exploding. Sangay, 17 going to 24 there in Ecuador. So we have Colombia, Nevada del Ruiz bumping off. We've got Reventador and Sangay both popping off here in Ecuador. So the northwestern side of South America on that corner is erupting. The center part of that Central America erupting. Minor, mind you, they're not major. They're just telling you that there's activity down below in the crust or below the crust. The moho or the subduction zones or the water has broken up the cracks and is rising to the surface. And should tell you something. There's activity. The world is alive. Dacono, Ibu Dacono, but ding-a-ding, right? 8,000 feet out of the Dacono. Little Tolo, right? Again, 6,000 feet this time. It's not very high off that mountain. I want to say it's 46. So 1,500 foot boomer. Yeah, it just tells you. Little Toby exploded to 63,000 feet. Crazy. Little Tolo hasn't done that, but it's right next to it. So probably the same. They might share in the same connection way down below. They might be related. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Reventador, 15 out of 11 and change. Shimiru, they're in Java. This is all yesterday, so late yesterday, it's just still doing its 15. And there's Tolica again. And we talked about that this morning, and we talked a little bit about it today. They're in Nicaragua. So those are the volcanoes. Now, in the earthquake world, let's go ahead and talk about these. But first, we need to go ahead and do what 42 does. He looks up today in earthquake history. Western Turkey, 1967, had a 7.3. Mm, yeah. uh, would like to say good morning to Walleye King, Susan. Timmy's off to work. Columnist 55, still in SoCal 42. New Brunswick, Canada guy. Lake Girl 19, just simply Sue down there and down under. Should be going to bed soon. Denise in the UK. Good afternoon to you too, and Croatian dude, and somewhere in Ohio. But anyway, he's around here somewheres. I said he was in Ohio. Anyway, the 7.3 in 1967 was on the northwestern Anatolian rift. 173 people were killed, 183 injured, 37 people lost their homes, 3,700. Province most affected by was Sakaraka-Hindik. Man, that's... Okay, don't take offense. I just can't say the words. All right. Shock originated on the extension of the Bulu Abant Fault in the Moderno Valley. Yeah, an active part of the North Anatolian Fault Zone. The 5.6 shock on July 3rd injured 40 people and took 2 additional lives in the town of Ada Parazi. Additional damage was also sustained. So, on this July 22, 1967, a 7.3, bam. And then July 30th, a couple days later, a 5.6 happened, killing more people. Yeah, so Turkey's known for that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. All right, so back to the MSC. You can see what the heck is going on. Okay, bang it, dang it, dang it, right there. And then we'll go down 12 hours. Here we go. Anything else that not pops out at me? 13 hours ago, Malaysia came in with a 4.5. So that's up in here, right? Very interesting spot because we don't normally see earthquakes up there. And as in frequency, a lot of them, okay? Sulawesi's down here. So this is Malaysia up here. That leads right into Taal, right? And a little plate boundary, the Celeb Sea right there. You know, if I bump it out here, you can see, kind of show you how things, Taiwan kind of starts it, goes through the Philippines, right, over to PNG, and then down this way goes Sulawesi. Over here is Halmahera. Here's the Banda Sea. Excuse me. It's the Sulu Sea, the Celeb Sea, the Molucca Sea, the Banda Sea, Flores Sea, and I think this one's Java Sea over here. And up here, that earthquake that happened in Malaysia was way up here, and just where the Sulu Sea. I misspelled, I missaid, so just be aware of that. I don't know what this one is. South China Sea in here, and Luzon Strait up here. Okay, so a little bit of geography for you. It kind of helps when you kind of see without having to bounce back and forth. Timor Sea is south of Timor, which is this little island right here. The Tolo is over here. Toby is over here. There's the seahorse right there, right? Yeah. And we can see right here we got a 5.0 Indonesia at 1:40 a.m. today. So that's a bit a while ago. All right. So back to it here. We'll continue. Off the keys to coast at KM Cheka coming in with a 4.3. Constant. Bang, bang, bang. We talked about that already, right? KM Cheka banging away. Switzerland. Hey, you said Switzerland earlier. I had a 3.3. Well, I'm seeing a 0.6 right now. So there's some movement up in Switzerland, right? Up. Thought it was over here, but it's up in here. Small quakes. Eastern Turkey. Yeah, these are Turkey. Wait, Switzerland's over here. Come on, knucklehead. Well, they don't even have it on there yet. Okay, they didn't put it on there. Oh, it's because it's up here, stupid. Right up here. Switzerland. Yeah, right up there. So the top is starting to quake a bit right now. Also, you see at the end of this chain, we have a break, another earthquake moving through the southern arm of Turkey. The Anatolian fault is up here. The southern Anatolian or the eastern Anatolian goes through here. This little banger right here tells you that Turkey's moving, still going to be moving for some time. Seram Sea, Indonesia comes in with a 4.1. Right? We got this Capulon Talud, which is a Sulawesi. Then we have this one here, Seram Sea, right? 4.1. And then down here, South Sumbawa is a 4.4, right? So 4 energy moving through the maritime continent. Also, Kamchatka still doing its thing, 4.3, way up in Kamchatka. Yep. You'll see some activity coming off of the Caribbean plate. Moving. I just sorry, my back is killing me. Don't do that. Let's see. Yeah, and then it's moving in through Nicaragua and up to Mexico. I think this is Nico, right? Gulf of, it's Honduras. All right, the Gulf of Honduras, 3.5. Right, way up in here, the Gulf of Honduras, right? Remember, we do have, right here, we have a volcano that is acting up. I think it's right here, matter of fact. So the subduction zone is producing fruit, so to speak, meaning you're able to see some activity up in there. I see all the seas, he says. Up here in Guerrero, 4.3. Yeah. Seram Sea is 4.1. Yeah. Northern Guadalajara is a 3.6. Northern Cal comes in with a 2.9. There's a couple little dingers up here, so. Oh, dang, that's not a good spot. Central California, 2.2. Yeah, the White Wolf Fault comes right through here. And that's real close to where the 7.3 happened in 1952. Remember we were talking about that. That was a terrible pun. Eden's funny. Good morning, Eden. Oh, my God. Come back out here. All right. Put this over here so you can see it. Alrighty. So, Molucca Sea, Chagos Archipelago region. Where the hell is that? 5.1. What was that way up here? Iceland comes in with a 4.5. Chagos. Okay, I find Chagos now. Indian Ocean, right? Right here in the middle, you can see. Usually it'll be up in here, but it's down here, over by. Well, down there's the islands. The Maldives, right? Is that the Maldives right there? Yeah, I think so. The Maldives. I don't know. I don't recall. Let me check it out. Wait. Right over here. Wait. What the heck? All right. So it's off India. Off India right there. There it goes. Chagos Archipelago region. Yeah. He's right by it. That little secret place right there, I'm not going to name it, but yeah. That's a secret plant, a base. And it's right there next to it. Yeah, it is the Maldives. That's what I saw. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why I knew, oh, it's over by, yeah. Don't bring too much attention to it. Alrighty. 5.0 Kamchatka 10 hours ago. New Mexico comes in at a 3.1. That's kind of interesting. Earthquakes today over in the U.S. of A. It's probably Texas, right? It's having an earthquake. But there is one up in here. 3.1 in New Mexico. That should tell you there's a whole region that's moving. Offshore Guatemala, 4.3. Yeah. Greece comes in at a 4.7. Strong Grecian quake. 4.7. Seeing some activity in I don't know what mountains they're called. Zooming out in Europe here. They're not the Urals, I don't believe. Don't think it's going to tell me. I might have to go to GE. Carpathian Mountains. Okay. Yeah, we're going to get to studying them too. So just the so we become more familiar with the geography. I mean, the Alps are over here. I know that. View. What the heck? Add layers. How about just the names of it, things? Why they gotta make it so damn difficult? No. All right. It doesn't go on until a certain time.
It's after 9 now.
Oh, I'm in the middle of the show. She'll have to wait. I'm almost done. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
4.7. Grandma can't work the remote. TV doesn't go on. That's because I have it on a electronic power. One of those timers. It shuts off, turns off, or otherwise the TV stays on all night, and she don't get enough sleep. 4.7 up in Greece. So Greece another 2.5 right afterward. Yeah. So that's the western side of Greece. Yeah. East Sandwich Islands comes in at a 4.8. All right. Well, it's east of the Sandwich Islands. Okay. All right. I don't know what lineament that would be. Bang, bang, and out here past Sandpoint. We'll have to figure that. Out. East Sandwich. Okay, yeah. So Kamchatka another 5, and Guatemala a couple of pair of 3s, or their equivalent. 4.8 Alaska. Flora SC comes in with a 5.0 as well. So right in here, so pretty good sized quakes happening along the maritime continent back here, plus a couple of volcanoes that have been activated. You can see a nice push in the western half. Yeah, you don't normally see that. You're starting to see it now. Big hammering from Kamchatka and Florida. Not Florida. Maybe Florida's going to get it. I don't know. Kamchatka and Alaska. We're looking for the third ping. I think it's either Japan or it's U.S. or maybe even down in South America. I'm talking about 7 plus. So be aware. Gulf of California comes in at 4.1, adding to the tension of what's happening in North America. What is this one here? Nevada 2.0. All right. I felt a 2.7, 2.9 the other day. Sit in my chair and I go, hey, that felt like an earthquake. And then I looked at my water and it was going tick, 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 tick. So how does that go? I can repeat it, yeah, for some of you. So Gulf of California, 4.1. Samar, Philippines, comes in with a 4. And the Canary Islands come in with a little dinger too. Philippines, that's on the northern half. Taal is right here, so it's more pressure toward Taal. Why is Taal important? Because it erupted not too long ago, and endangered a lot of people. 4.9, Kamchatka, popping up 4.9 about 5 hours ago. Kamchatka, popping up there. Yes, sir. Clustering down here in the armpit of South America too, or Central America. West Texas comes in with a couple of deuces, just to tell it, hey, we're still here. Kamchatka, another 5, and another 4.9. Bang, bang, bang. Honshu, Japan, near the East Coast. Honshu. All right. Bang. That's up by Fukushima. Yeah. Don't need that to happen no more, do we? But it is a fill-in of the plate with, something down here. We've got Malaysia was banging, and then now we have, if you follow it through, probably northern Java. Poland comes in with a 3.5, France with a 2.1. You can see the earthquakes moving across. I expect the Rick James to really kind of start to rock and roll. Kamchatka, 5.0. Cyprus did a 2.5. Guatemala, Central America, 4.0. Yeah, that's 15 depth. Let's see. Capulon Ailor is at 3.5. What is that? Malacca. Okay, Capulon Ailor is down here. Timor region. And the Azores come up with a 2.7. Well, right up in there. And like I said, I'll be watching something out there. Moving up into Rick James, which is up around that bend right there. Rick James is this kind of stretch right here. Kamchatka does another 5.1 here 2 hours and 30 minutes ago. Kenai Peninsula, Alaska says 3.5. San Pedro, California comes in at a level 2.9. San Pedro Channel as Southern Cal pops off with a 2.3 right afterward. So out in the channel, right, 2.9. Then up here off of Garlock, is that Garlock? Yeah, it's freaking. You see this Southern Cal, man. It's Central Cal is definitely right next to Garlock, and it's a 2.3. So we've seen lots of those happen. Northern Peru does a 4.1. Northern Algeria does a 3.1. Philippines comes in with a 3.9 an hour and 20 ago. And then Southern Cal popped with another deuce. Interesting. Hey, do you remember the last time it quaked here? That's an odd place. You have to go back, I think, 2 years, maybe 3. I'll have to put it in Canuck's brain. I used to have it saved because I thought that was a really interesting place for a quake. And it was a 5 the last time. I like to see what transpired as a result of that quake. Because, there's a volcanic chain up in here. And if I remember correctly, this area of Baja started going off pretty darn good. There is a volcano right back up in here as well. And there's a little microplate that's broken up. East Pacific rises up here right into the delta. and that can pose a lot of problems for us. Follow that around. Go like this. Come back to U.S. of A. U.S. Look at this. It's not even friggin' there. They don't even believe it exists. These POSs. So I have to do it another way. Go figure, man. 4.7. All right. It's right there. That's the location. Go Earth. Paste. Didn't like it. Colby. It didn't like that one. All right, so this is where the earthquake happened, 4.7. Save the project. Volcanoes. Only reason because it's, I think, 4.7. 722, 722 slash 25. All right. Done. You'll see a series of volcanoes out here off of Mexico. Here's Guadalupe volcano off Mexico here. Today, this quake is out this way. Here's Hawaii down here, right? Follow that along. There's the Guadalupe volcano right into the area where the other volcanoes are, and the St. Lawrence lineament, that I call it, kind of comes down this way, goes across Dallas, Texas, and into that region. Leftover chicken and rice, so Japan and Mexico in trouble. Yeah, this other quake out here in the middle of nowhere, if I remember correctly, this area became more active. There's a few volcanoes in this area, Jaguari and Coronado and Guadalupe in this region. And yeah, so it can produce earthquakes and volcano eruptions, but hey, we don't know. Or maybe it just does nothing, you know. But anyway, just so you're aware. And we'll go back to the beginning because we are all done anyway. Switzerland comes in with a 3-2 as Panama does a 3-7. Mindanao, Philippines, comes in with a couple of threes. Kenai Peninsula, again, Alaska is a 3-8. So up here in Kenai, got a couple of threes moving up and through. Another Northern Pacific Ocean, 4.7. Weird location, okay? That's weird. That's two weirds. Hey, come on. Oh, it crashed. Freaking frack. Let me push it again here. Let's go ahead and paste that. Take that little doohickey out. Northern, well, I got it out here, right? That's the same. That's not the Northern Pacific. Well, I guess that is the same place. Yeah, all right. I thought it was one up here. Yeah, my bad. So yeah, different volcanoes. There you go. let them bang away. As long as they don't hurt you, right? Yeah. So that's pretty much it for earthquakes anyway. The DR is rock and rolling a little bit. 3.3. We do have a Panamanian 3.7. So through the United States, there's been almost a 3 level. Now up in the Caribbean, there's 3+ levels. Offshore, we're getting high 4s and mid 4s down in Chile, and mid 3s and 4s. So seems to be between 5 and 3. A lot of power on this side. Up in the north, there's definitely huge amount of powers. Let me make sure. No, that's not supposed to be that. I don't know where it is now. What happened? There we go. All right. I saw a report yesterday. You can see the direction of the Pacific Plate, right? Everything's moving in that direction. It's GPS settings, right? Everything moving in that direction. You can see here the western Aleutians moving almost due west, and up here in the Bering Sea, it's moving southwest. You can see up here North American Plate at 14 moving that direction. The Okhotsk Plate moving to southwest, and also the Kurils moving southwest. And the Aleutians are moving west-southwest, okay? So the idea behind this other gentleman, who's pretty knowledgeable, he's assuming that there's a rift between the two. I don't see the rift due to the quakes happening up in Kamchatka and up in Alaska. So if you watch the trend is actually coming southwest, in my opinion. Right? So we've seen these. These are 31 quakes that U.S. has. So you know they're above 4.5. There's been a lot more than that. I want you with that audio. Connect Mexico and Japan are in trouble. Worry about Joe's computer. No, right? You can see that the main quake happened up here, and it's moving in a south direction, a little bit to the west, but a south direction, and they're becoming more shallow. Yeah, they're all 10s. And as it rises to the surface here. All right, so the rip is still continuing. After a big quake, the rip still happens, the adjustment happens. So 7.4 over there. We got the Rats Islands here coming in with a 5, the ADAC. But this area here, 4.8. If you remember, we did have a pretty strong quake there. And look at the 7 magnitudes for the last 7 days. Right? You see big quakes. And they kind of stayed in the generalized area, this whole region. And that's the 6.2. Let me see I didn't think it was longer than 7 days ago. There's the 7.3 right there. So it kind of migrated west or east, depending on your point of view. And the larger quakes are on either side over here. There is one that's way over here. But this region, the gap is just to the right. And this vibrations are strike slip related more so, and the subduction, of course. But that 7.3 was at 20 kilometers. This is at 40, so it's diving down, right, on this end. So that's the orientation of these quakes. And you'll see smattering of quakes in the middle. On this side here, there is 142 quakes that in the last 7 days that have been produced. Two of the largest quakes that have happened all year. Also, a series of quakes moving through, kind of and Whitney's up here, and kind of right here's a swarm, and right here's a swarm. There are volcanoes up in this region all the way up, and I'd have to turn that on to see it. I don't want to. We will do Okus Plate and explain Cural Trench, then do some nines there. It'll take at least an hour or so. I think so. I think that's our plan. So all quiet on the western front. You can see a clear line moving inland, right? Also coming down the coast, right? The San Andreas. However path it takes, the Calaveras Fault moving through Oakland and then coming back in where the volcano is, clearly there. The backside of Ridgecrest, moving up from Pine or Lone Pine and up there by Crowley Lake and stuff, moving up into the Walker Lane limit, which is right here. Part of Ridgecrest is that it leads all the way down into the Salt Sea, in my opinion. And you have the San Jacinto Fault and the Elsinore Fault both activated. Seeing some little dingers working their way through LA. All these compressional components shoving all the way out to the Wasatch Mountains. And the diving Wanda Fuca, or the Farallon Plate. Lots of quakes in Texas, of course. Also, these ones down here, don't think that they're not important, because they are. Plenty of activity around the DR and Puerto Rico. Seems like the spot in between seems to be getting more busy. Now, we did have a big 7.6 over here, or actually I think it was right down in here. That might activate this stuff over here as well, because making space for everything else to move. That's what the big quakes are doing. Down in the trenches, you can see clearly, from USGS anyway, that the trenches are telling us there's movement. That chicken leg is a moving, baby. Stretching everything as it goes. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Let's see, what do we have left? Let's go ahead and look at the fires. There's a huge fire in Oregon. They're calling it a mega fire. I don't see a mega fire, but what's the date today? 24 hours today. That one right there. Yeah, pretty big fire. It has 387 square kilometers, 150 square miles have burned, 95,000 acres, and they're saying it's pretty bad. Interesting that it's out there. Bud Creek, because all those vibrations are happening right here. Not saying they're related to this fire, but there's a fair amount. Not seeing anything else here in the contiguous U.S. Up in Canada, yeah, they got some pretty good fires up here. And Manitoba. Well, I would only hope that maybe I don't really want it, but something to burn out all the liberals out of Toronto and Detroit and Cleveland and Michigan and New York and just Montreal. Yeah. I would like some of those things not to be there no more. But I don't want anybody hurt or lose their livelihoods. But it's kind of, what do you say? Ottawa, you got to take care. Ottawa's got, they have some things they need to do. Yeah, and I can't help them. We do, we already did that one. All right, so let's look at the storm index today. Looks like up in the Dakotas, Montana, and Michigan, up into Wisconsin, and is the slight chance of thunderstorms. Probably just south of Luke. He was hoping for some rain. He might get some rain. Looking at the COD. Big low pressure in the middle here. Dirty, go to 2, and then go play. I said play, will you? There you go. Yeah, big blow up in Kansas. Boy, is a big blow up right there in the middle as it spins. Wow. And then it died out. Look at that. Oh, man, did it die out. Yeah. Good thing. Yeah. It's still there, though. Unstable. Getting sucked up here in northern Texas. Watch out, northern Texas. We do have a little bit of monsoonal moisture doing a clockwise rotation. And there's a counterclockwise actually in the midst of this too. Kind of a clockwise rotation coming up, but also going the opposite way as a counter in top of Texas. So lots of storms last night. And I saw a sister. I think she's good. Texas is getting it again. Yeah. Central and West Texas getting lots of rain. New Mexico's got some rain, and central Alaska. Did you get any rain there, Dub? I know you're on there. We didn't get anything. We watched some clouds, but it cooled us down. It was cool today, 72, so it was pretty darn nice. But looking at the upper levels, yeah, you can see these blowing up. A little bit of monsoonal. West Texas is really getting it. Yeah. And then, Florida Panhandle got some pretty good rain as well. Other than that, I don't see anything too big. Up by Brother, he got some. He got some weather last night. I don't know if he's working today in the mud. But anyway, looking at the lower level. Heat out in the west, not too bad. There's always somebody walking out there. Anyhow, let's see. Is anything it? Yeah, I think that's it. Been running on and off there today mostly. All right, sister. Up in the UK. That's normal. God. Yeah. So, rock on, man. Rock on. I appreciate you all being here and doing that. House Speaker vote paused until fall over Epstein. Votes are paused until fall over Epstein. So it was crippled the White House before the plan. We want it out. You want the truth out, but the courts have him locked up, so I don't know how much truth they can get out on the Epstein stuff. Yeah, I don't want to see Denise running around, dancing around in her bathing suit. No, that would be inappropriate. Just kidding. I don't want to see it. I've got enough problems already. Trump is pulling the United States out of UNESCO again. Also, they're looking for an alternative. Government is to SpaceX versus the Golden Dome. Philippines in tariff talks in China at White House. And Trump ends the protections for Afghanistan's and Cameroon's, to be imported here. Send them all back, will you? Planned Parenthood is still fighting to get some money, and that's going to be a fight into this, probably into the courts. The administration's released the FBI records on Martin Luther King Jr. And also they've kicked the Wall Street Journal from press pool in Scotland. They say, get out of here, you jokers. You're not even real. The EU is going to try to compete with the U.S. So that's what's kind of going on worldwide. Sean Duffy says that Buttigieg blew billions on DEI rather than solving the problems of transportation. They said, well, you can't do transportation when you don't respect somebody else's dilemma. Never mind. It's bullshit. Bullshit. You got a mental condition, you shouldn't be driving a bus. Fix the roads, fix the bus systems, fix the air, and that's what Buttigieg was. He was supposed to fix all that. He didn't do squat, in my opinion. He spent money on trying to make what they view the underlings. There might be a reason that your idea of society is the minority. There might be a reason for that. You think? Man, I don't care if you want to cut your pecker off. Go right ahead. There'll be less of you around in 20 years. That's how I view it. But, you do what you need to do. And I don't know what the ladies do. I don't understand it really. I just think it's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And Cocoa Puffs was, a cereal back when I was a kid. And we say cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because that's what the guy said. He was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And if you want to be a puffer, go right ahead. I don't care. But don't tell me that I have to accept your mental condition as being real or something that I should be considering, because I won't. I don't give a shit what you say. Father, religious persecution and insult to God. All right. Well, they may hold Obama accountable for the Russia hoax. I don't understand that. I thought it was a Hillary Clinton thing. They were in cahoots together. Thomas Massey is at odds with the current administration, so they're pushing to oust him off the Republican Party because he's too far left. Yeah. get right or get left, you know, something to be said about that. Trump says that Obama is guilty of treason. He's guilty of starting the coup. That's huge. I mean, obviously he's got evidence because he just can't say it. President Trump did not hold back in the latest remarks, pointing that former President Barack Obama as a perpetrator of the 2016 fraud in a coordinated coup attempt. He's guilty. Trump reporters off-the-cuff remarks from the Oval Office when Ferdinand Marcos of Philippines was there. Far out, can you dig it? I wonder if Bikini Atoll is prone to big tsunamis. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Tulsi Gabbard has outlined the roadmap for investigating the Russia collusion conspiracy all the way up to Obama, with potentially more to come. I think they need to look at it as being an ideological difference and attacking it that way. The presidency was taken over the last, 16 of, or 12 of 16 years, right? So, I mean, the 10 in Obama and then 5 in whatever his name was, because he doesn't even know the thing. I don't know who was running that show. That shit show. That's a real shit show that somebody else was running, and I think there ought to be heads to roll on that, honestly. And then also I think somebody should lose their... Well, see, dissent is okay, right? As long as your dissent is to try to make things better. But if you believe your own crap and your dissent is vehement against the government, then you're in trouble. Just ask some of these people that got arrested on January 6th. Boy, they flipped them on that, didn't they? But anyway, I digress. Let's see, do we have anything today on tap? Before I let everybody go. I don't think Nick is out here. I guess not. So big hugs to y'all, and remember, don't get none on you, and love you. And